You just don't pick a name out of a hat. Creating a name is a process that takes a lot of thought, contemplation. A group of people come together, and a name sort of emerges out of the relationship between all those people and their relationship to the place. In this case, we sat down with all of our Hawaiian advisors and we talked through what it was we were trying to do with the project. And that gave rise, eventually, to this name, Aulani. Now, the word Aulani specifically means a messenger of a chief. That's what an Aulani is, a messenger of a chief. But when you use it to apply to a place like we're making, it means that the place is going to speak on behalf of something greater than itself. In this case, that greater thing is Hawaiian culture. So Aulani for us is a responsibility for us through our place to speak on behalf of Hawaiian culture and tradition. We're working with all kinds of Hawaiian artists on this project. Many of these people are ethnic Hawaiians who trace their ancestry back to the beginning of the islands, and all of them are connected in some way or another to the Hawaiian Islands. And what we've done with this resort is allowed these artists tremendous freedom to express themselves, to express Hawaii through their art in this resort. And the result of that is an incredible art program at this resort, ranging from some artists whose work is completely modern and abstract, all the way to artists whose work is very detailed and very traditional. Some artists have created objects that are perfectly Hawaiian, and some have created paintings and images that are about Hawaii. But as you wander through this resort, you're surrounded by real artwork that belongs in an art gallery, really nice art. And that's something that gives this resort a rich flavor and a lot of truth. I mean, these artists have been allowed to speak what they mean to say about Hawaiian culture through their art, and that's kind of cool. Not all the artists who are working on the program are established artists, although we do have some of the most prominent artists in Hawaii working on this resort. But we're also involving children, both local children from local schools and children from all around the state. So there's a couple different places where that shows up. There's a mural, kind of a collage behind the check-in desk, which is like the rainbow colors of Hawaii. And that Colors of Hawaii mural is created from photographic imagery that children from all around the state are taking for us of the colors of Hawaii. And then we're going to compose that into this kind of collage. Now, in that collage will be things that on your first trip to Hawaii, you have no idea what that thing is. But again, people come back again and again to this place. So as you visit again and again, that mural will come to life to you, and you'll realize that red thing over there is a piece of a feather cape, and that blue thing over there is a very particular bay. And I think that's kind of neat. Both that the kids get to be involved in creating an image, and that image will speak to you, that you will absorb something from it as you come and go from the resort. This big rock outcropping of volcanic stone that rises up out of the landscape right at the edge of the property. When lava gets near the shore, the ocean water cools it off and it crunches into itself and folds up and creates all these fantastic shapes. And that's what you'll think you're looking at. And there's slides coming out of it, and there's caves inside of it, and waterfalls. It's really, really cool. It also appears to really, really be the local volcanic stone of that part of the coast of Oahu. But there's more to it than that. There's a whole sort of Hawaiian cultural idea that the world reveals things to you, that if you look more closely at things, you will see other things, you'll see more. And so worked into the stone very subtly are images of mostly animals that are culturally important to Hawaiian myth and legend and tradition. And they're not very obvious. They're not at all like the carved animals, say, on the Tree of Life at Animal Kingdom, but rather sort of the thing that you might have to be standing there at noon, and when the sun's at the right angle, all of a sudden there's a school of dolphins, and then 2 hours later it's gone. Or if you stand over here and just look straight down that way, it looks like whales swimming through the ocean, and then there's like a blowhole that is the whale's spout. So you'll be able to find these images by looking closely, which is kind of what Hawaiian culture wants you to do. We know, of course, that Disney Vacation Club members come back again and again. And like a really, really good story, we want this to be a story that can be revisited again and again. And to do that, the way you do that is you put lots into it, layers and layers and layers and layers of detail. Some of that detail will be easy to see, and you'll see it on the first trip. Some of it, you might have to learn something about Hawaiian culture in order to see, and then you would see it. Some of it, you might have to be there at the right time of year in order to see, and then you'll see it. So there's reasons to come back again and again and again as the place unfolds in front of you, and you see more and enrich your experience of the resort more and more by learning more and more about what there is to see. Menehune. Menehune are like little people, a little bit like leprechauns or something like that, but very specific to Hawaii. And some of the legends suggest that the Menehune were a real people who lived in the Hawaiian Islands before the current Hawaiians got there and then retreated into the forest. But in any case, the way the legend unfolds, there are these little people who live in the forest, and they come out at night and they work, they do stuff, they're busy, they build things. And then when the sun comes up, they stop and they go away. And so all around the islands are Menehune bridges and Menehune ponds and Menehune walls that tie to this legend. So what we wanted to do was to take this idea and attach it to something really historical. So we went back to these very, very, very old stone carvings that come from before the Hawaiians and come from a distant part of the Hawaiian Islands. And we used those as our inspiration for our Menehune. And then we have this sort of Menehune hidden all over the resort, but especially in places where children would find them. Under tables, under chairs, hidden in corners, under bushes. So they're almost like a kind of Easter egg. And these little Menehune are all over the resort, all kind of busy about the stuff that they're doing, and all waiting there to be found by children, when children come working their way through all of the places that we've created. Hawaiian culture is a culture of beautiful, beautiful wood and beautifully delicate textiles. And there's a way in which it can feel very classy, very refined. But we want this to be a room for a family. And so we've taken that feeling of elegance and refinement and softened it down with some aging and some patina so that those rooms have this very comfortable lived-in quality. On top of that, almost everything in the room is inspired by Hawaiian culture. The lighting fixtures and the shapes of them, the patterns in the fabric, the shapes of the furniture itself are inspired by our research into the forms and the textures and the patterns that make up Hawaiian culture. So you're actually surrounded by a bunch of inspired messages about Hawaii, including the art that's on the walls, that as your visits increase, as you come and go from these places, as a family will that's a DVC member, you'll slowly realize, hey, that thing is like that thing that we saw over there. This is like that place that we were. And so your room will come to life for you as you come back again and again and learn more and more about what the islands are all about.